Rabotai, B'Shem Hashem Nasev Natzliach, Shavuot Tov to all the listeners. Today's learning that we do, Be'ezrat Hashem B'Lineder, may it be a zechut for the soldiers, for the people that are still held in captivity, and for all of Am Yisrael as a whole. Today I want to try to do one small halakha, but from that halakha, a lot of musar comes out from it. And the reason why I want to speak about this musar, why is this so important, is because I was asked a simple question and whatever it was, someone asked me a question. Okay, Rabbi, so we get rid of the phones, we get rid of the TV, whatever the situation might be. So what do you want our children to do? Okay? I mean, they're worried about their children. I thought they were going to ask me a better question. What do they want the men to do, meaning their husbands to do, right? So there was a guy, he came out to me, he says, right, Rabbi, what do you want our children to do? I thought he was going to ask more on himself, what do I want him to do once he gets off the phone? So the reality is it easy to get off the phone? No, it's not, Rabbi. It's not. That's why you do need to have a filter. Like I explained in my previous show, I do not want to go back. Just to give people a basic understanding of how dangerous the phone is and with what can you replace it. Because that was this is what I want to speak about today, is how do we go into that transition where, okay, so we put a filter on our phone, but what do you want us to do now, right? So the guy who asked me, he was speaking about his children, but the question is more, not only about the children, but also on the adults. If the adults are not doing it, do not expect your children to do it. It's going to be very hard. One thing you do not want to do with kids is tell them one thing and do something else, because they pick up on it. And being a hypocrite, Rabotai, is not good. So the transition is which I want to show you today. That is going to be, you're going to have to transition into learning Torah. Now, when I say learning Torah, I want to be careful when I say this. I'm not saying learning Torah by listening to shiurim, which is all nice and it's fine. But, Rabotai, there are levels of learning Torah. When I speak about learning Torah, I speak about taking a Gemara, Rashi, Tosfot, taking a Shulchan Aruch, the Nosei Kelim, Magen Aram, Taz, Beit Yosef, Tur, whatever it might be, Mishnah Berurah. When I'm speaking about learning Torah, I'm speaking about where you are fully involved. You're not just sitting there listening to the rabbi. The rabbi knows everything. Or we hope that he knows everything, right? And he sits there and he's just throwing at halachot, mutar asur, mutar asur, mutar asur. So in 1 hour you got 30 halachot. So what did you really come away with? So again, Rabotai, you want to be able, and I'm telling you, again, I'm not giving anybody advice, chas v'shalom lo aleinu, because I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist. No, I'm not. But Rabotai, the Torah, what Torah is able to do, worlds cannot do it. People cannot do it. Psychologists cannot do it. Psychiatrists cannot do it. Therapists cannot do it, Rabotai. Torah is able to change a person from point A to point Z, 360 degrees, all the way, Rabotai. Like this in circle. That's the Torah was able to do, Rabotai. The Torah is able to take a gang member, who knows where he was, and make him into one of the biggest Talmidei Chachamim. Now, in my humble opinion, Rabotai, from learning the Torah in the past few years and seeing the immense depthness that our Torah offers, it's like an ocean where there's no end. No matter how much you dig, no matter how much you dig, no matter how much you dig, it only gets more beautiful and more beautiful and more beautiful. Like the Rambam says, it's wider than the ocean and deeper than the sea. There's no end, Rabotai. Our Torah is limitless. It's unlimited. So, yes, Rabotai, in my humble opinion, can the Torah, is there anything that can replace our phones? Yes, it's the Torah. But which kind of Torah? The Torah is that when we learn it the correct way, the proper way, or we have a rabbi that teaches us Torah the proper way also. I'll give an example. somebody came up to me and he said, Rabbi, whatever, it was a rabbi I was teaching bitachon, right, on the chapter of bitachon. Right, he was not coming away with nothing. But there's another person that was teaching the same chapter on bitachon. He's like, Rabbi, but it's unbelievable. So he's like, why? They're saying exactly the same thing. So it's not only saying exactly the same thing, it's more about also how you present it. Do you feel it? Do you believe it, what you're teaching? Or just I'm reading a newspaper, daily news, right? New York Post, I'm not even comparing the two. But how are you presenting it? And if Torah is being presented in a boring way, yeah, Rabotai, I don't expect it to change you. Yeah, of course it's going to be hard to go ahead and fight against the desires of the world, the internet addiction and everything. Yeah, it's going to be very hard. You have to have this plan where, and I'm telling you, Rabotai, all you got to do is just try it. If you take a book, you try to sit down and learn, maybe get a chavusa, maybe get a teacher, whatever it takes, and you sit down and you go word for word, Rashi for Rashi, whatever it might be, give yourself some time. See in a few months, Rabotai, the sweetness of Torah. And in my humble opinion, if we want to be able to make that transition from the phones to something else, that something else should be Torah. Because there's no other greater joy in the world like the joy of Torah, like learning the Torah, going the ways of Torah. There's nothing greater than that. Now again, Rabotai, as usual, I'm going to say this again. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I don't want nobody to, if you want, ask your local rabbi, go to your therapist, and go to your doctor, whoever you got to go, Rabotai. I don't want people thinking, oh, the rabbi said it, because there's a way how to do this, Rabotai. If you do it the right way, if you get stuck in it, you get like addicted to Torah, there's nothing else beautiful than Torah. So people can try it, Rabotai, but I just want people to know that it's very important before you make any decisions. For sure, you got to put a filter on the phone. There's nothing more to talk about. Right now is what do you want to transition into? In my humble opinion, Rabotai, that Torah is the way to go. Anything else that you're going to give me compared to Torah is zero. Again, it's not my words, it's Chazal's words. I can even say it 100% with full confidence. I'm not worried. But the people that are listening might take the wrong idea, might take the wrong impression. Oh, it's not for me, Rabbi. I tried this before. When you tell me it's not for you, and when you tell me you tried it before, you didn't try it before. And you don't really know if it's for you or not. Because if you tell me it's not for you, then you go against the whole Torah. The Torah was given to the smallest child, to the most adult person, to the biggest rabbi, to the most simple person. Hashem gave the Torah to all the Jews. There's no such thing as not for me. Maybe you don't want to learn Torah. Maybe you don't have that desire to learn Torah, like you have desire making money or watching garbage. Maybe that's a different story. Like one time there was a father, he came to the rabbi, and he was crying, Rabbi. He said, well, what happened? He's like, please help me. Well, what happened? He went to the teacher. All F's. He's like, what's this? He said, it's my son. We come from a religious family. What's all these F's? So the rabbi says, what can I tell you? Your son is not learning in class. What do you want me to tell you? I can't just give him any grade. So the father says, he starts crying. He's like, Rabbi, you don't understand. My son has no desire to learn Torah. My son has no desire to wake up to daven. my son has no desire to do anything. So Rabotai, the rabbi answered him, no, your son has a lot of desire, but not for Torah, not for learning, not for davening, not for putting on tefillin. He has a lot of desires for the wrong things. When you put your desires for the wrong things, yes, Rabotai, it's going to be very hard to compete with that desire, because this desire is wrong and it feels good for the moment, Rabotai, until people start coming to realization that they wasted years, not 30, 40 years just on watching whatever it is, and then they're going to come to realization. That's going to happen, Rabotai, when a person is 89 years old, one like into the grave, he's going to be thinking, What did I accomplish all my life? What did I do? What did I do? Nothing, Rabotai. Okay. So therefore, if a person wants to be able to make this transition, you have to be able to do it through Torah. It has to be done in a professional way. It has to be done through Rabbanim that know their stuff. They're going to be able to teach it the sweetest way, with passion, etc. Now, Rabotai, why is this so important? I'm going to explain to you like this. You know, everybody knows what's a 6-story floor building, correct? Imagine you have children playing on a 6, or even adults, doesn't matter. They're playing on a 6-story building basketball. They put 2 hoops up and they're playing full court basketball. Now realize one thing. There's no railings. There's no gates to protect the people. Now, would you allow anybody to play on such a roof? You're gonna, of course not, Rabbi. What's the question? You're putting people's life in danger. Rabotai, why are we so afraid? Because they're going to fall off and they're going to die? But why, when it comes to using our phones, we're not concerned? It's like we're playing in an open field, a field of mines where any button I can press, Chas v'Shalom, can lead me somewhere wrong. And over there, you don't mind if your neshama gets destroyed. Somehow over there, you're fine if you look at something which is not proper. That doesn't bother you. But over here, the guy's playing basketball on top of a 6th floor. You're afraid maybe they're going to fall off. I'll give you a better shot. Over there, somebody can remind them, be careful. Over here on your phone, who's watching you? Who's seeing anything you're doing? So Rabotai, just like you understand you need a fence on a 6th floor rooftop building, so too you need a fence for your phone, like I spoke about in the previous shiur. Now, Rabotai, I want to explain to you why is this so important to give chashivut, to give importance to Torah. Now, a lot of us feel we give importance to Torah. Again, that's for each and every one to judge. I want to read for you over here the halacha in the Shulchan Aruch in Siman Nun Hey, in halacha bet. It brings down. I want to use this musar. I want to take it from here. I could have brought it from any other place in Shulchan Aruch. I just want to use the pasuk so I can be able to read it from inside. The halacha says, Im itchil lomar kaddish or kiddusha, the shaliach tzibur began to kaddish or kiddusha, be'asara v'yitzeu miktzatan. Right, he began to say kaddish or kiddusha with 10 people, and a few of the people walked out. Gomrim otah kaddish or otah kiddusha shitchil. You finish that kaddish or kiddusha that you began. V'hu shenishtaru ruban. As long as you have 6 people, the Mishnah Berurah brings down, you don't necessarily need 7 people. As long as you have majority would be from 10 people, 6 would be enough. Fine. Umikol makom rabotai. Nevertheless, the Rama says, Avera hilatzet. It's an avera for a person when there's only 10 people in the shul and they're doing kaddish or kiddusha. It is a sin to come out of the shul. I understand people are very busy today, Baruch Hashem. People are on their phones, Baruch Hashem. Rabotai, is becoming a joke. It's becoming a joke. Our place of worship, the place where we pray, is becoming a joke. We are on phone. We are on our phones, and we want to show Hashem importance. We all thank me, Rabbi. At least I'm coming, Rabbi. You know. Okay, he's doing a favor. Okay, Rabotai, our place of worships are becoming a joke. No, we're not. Not even the people that learn Torah are taking it seriously. They're on their phones. You know, when I see this, Rabotai, you should know. You know, I'm very, again, people need to understand. You have to use these opportunities to be able to educate your children. Because, Rabotai, when you see a person with a black hat and he's on his phone doing Chazar Tashat or doing Kaddish or Kiddusha or doing the reading of the Sefer Torah, that's a very big problem. If he's on his phone, what should the rest of the people that don't learn Torah, what do you think they're on? So it's a very big problem, Rabotai. So therefore you have to be able to educate not only yourself that this is wrong. Just because he has a beard or a black hat doesn't mean he knows it, Rabotai. And you're going to tell me, right, he had an emergency, you're correct. If he had an emergency, he should have run out. He should run out, he should have dropped everything and go. If he's a Hatzalah member. Rabotai, a shul is a place to pray. We bring this phone, we bring this garbage into our place of worship where we're going to serve Hashem. And with that phone, Rabotai, if you don't have a filter, only God knows what you watch. Only Hashem knows what you watch. So what? So we dive we believe in Hashem, we dive into Hashem, but still somehow we're able to continue living our lives as if nothing's happening. We're living two worlds, Rabotai. In the morning, I'm with God. After I leave the shul, I'm with the outside world. Rabotai, we always have to be with Hashem 100%. So, I want to just show you over here. And then the pasuk says, Ve'ozvei Hashem yichlu. And those people that abandon Hashem will be destroyed. Wow. And he brings this from the Yerushalmi, Talmud Yerushalmi. Also, Rabotai, it's a pasuk in Isaiah. Where is this brought down? It's a pasuk in Perik Aleph in pasuk of Chet in Isaiah, and that's Ishaya. Okay, in Hebrew it's Ishaya. Okay, Rabotai, why am I saying this? Because by us not wanting to learn Torah, again, I want to make something clear. Like I said in the beginning of the lecture, when I speak about learning Torah, I mean Osik Torah. I'm not speaking about listening to Shurim. It's very nice to listen to Shurim. But there's a very big difference between listening to Shurim and learning Torah the way it's supposed to be done. Now you might tell me, I have no time, this is the best I can do. If that's really what you can do, Azaka Baruch to you. Behemet, if that's what you can do, Azaka Baruch to you. But Rabotai, if I pick up your phone and I'm able to look at your screen time that you had averaged 8 hours a day, per day last week, or whatever the situation might be, Rabotai, you shot yourself in the foot. You just shot yourself in the foot. How can you tell me you have no time? Somehow you have 8 hours on the phone averaging, Rabotai. And I'm not even exaggerating. From the hours I've seen people use their phone, it's scary. It's very, very scary. And they say we have no time to learn Torah. Well, you have witness to say otherwise. You have much more time than you think. But Rabotai, if you're those people that bemet, that's all you have is 45 minutes a day, and that's all you can do, kol hakavod to you, Rabotai. But however, on the other hand, if you're going to be honest with yourself and you know that you really, even in that time while you're learning, you don't even understand what's flying and you're wasting your time, just you want to be able to say, I did the learning, whatever, I want to put a check to my learning. Rabotai, that's a big problem. That's not showing chashivut. Whenever it comes to doing something in this world, right, eating, parties, cars, clothing, anything we do, we want the best. We want the best. We want to be able to make sure we have a good time. But why, when it comes to showing importance to Torah, we don't show that importance, Rabotai. We don't give that importance to Torah. Okay. Rabotai, I want to read for you over here in Shmirat HaLashon, in Shara Torah Perik Bet, what the Chavetz Chaim has to say, because we need to understand, sometimes it can be, the reason why we don't have chashivut is because we don't understand what we're missing. We don't understand what we're missing. I'm going to give you a small analogy, a parable, Rabotai, which I heard from a rabbi, but I'm going to just try to give a little twist to it, just to make it a little bit more specific. There was once a person, he was passing through a country, and he was heading home. And he had a luggage with him. He had one small luggage. He went away for 2 days away on vacation. For whatever it was a business trip. So he had a small luggage with him. As he was passing through this country, he saw there was a bank. He sees the bank is empty, meaning it's open, empty of people, nobody's there. He walks in, says of them big letters, take all the money that you want. Now I'm talking about real money. Benjamin Franklin's, $50, whatever. Abraham Lincoln, whatever you want. Take all the money that you want. So the guy says, wow, what a city, what a country. He opens his small luggage, the ones that you get those carry-on that you put in the what do you call that? In the airplane, whatever, in that shelf on top of you. He opens it and he starts stacking. But he sees he has no more space. And he starts thinking to himself. He says, 1 second, I have underwears over here. I have socks over here. I have my t-shirts over here. He says, what should I do? Whatever it is, you know something? How much I can stack, I'm going to stack. What am I? I'm going to leave my underwears over here. I'm going to leave my socks over here. He closes the luggage, puts it back together nicely, walks away, very happy, very confident. He gets to his country, gets to his hometown. He tells his wife and his children, we're rich. Yeah. For rich from what? What happened? What? The business deal went well? He said, better. He tells the wife the whole story of how he went through the bank, etc. She says, okay, so how much did you take? He opens up the luggage. He spills out the money. And his wife looks at him with a sour face. And she says, what's this? So what should we, what's this? Look how much money I brought for you. This is not enough for you. She said, no, I don't understand. How are you able to collect only this amount of money? Why weren't you able to collect more? So the husband says, what, you don't see my socks, my underwears, my t-shirts, you don't see what I have inside? So the wife says, Chamor, you had an opportunity of a lifetime to be able to take out your garbage socks and your underwear and your t-shirt and to fill it up with all the money, and you could have come over here and we could have bought you 1 million more of those socks, and you didn't do that. And you came empty-handed, you came with this few $100 bills over here. Rabotai, the moral of the story is, we look at that guy as a fool, but that's each and every one of us. And that's the emet. We are in this world with a small luggage, collecting socks and underwears and t-shirts. And we're forgetting the main thing, the Torah. The Torah, mitzvot, chesed, Kadosh Baruch Hu in being in your lives. That Rabotai we're not putting in. Yeah, we did. We put one shacharit, one mincha, one aravit, 45 minutes of listening to shul while I was trying to work. Yeah. But Rabotai, the rest of the luggage is what? Socks and underwears. So that's what you want to come into the next world? And you know when I say socks and underwears, you know what I'm speaking about, Rabotai? Yeah, all the billions of dollars people make. Rabotai, it's good to make that money as long as you're learning Torah with that money. You're supporting Shivot with that money. You do something with that money. Not just benefiting your stomach, Rabotai. Just the best house, the best car. Good, have whatever you want. But do not let it be at the expense of your Olam Haba. If I have to work now to make more money just to live a better life, and that's going to take away from my learning Torah, no, that's a very big no, Rabotai. Because now you're collecting socks and underwears. So I do want to share with you, why is it, Rabotai? Why is it that we don't show that importance to Torah? Why is it that we are running after the socks and underwears and the t-shirts, right? Because we don't know the chashivut. Had we known that we are in this world only temporary, and that we came into this world to collect the real dollar bills, if I can call it, Rabotai, which are the Torah, I don't even want to compare them to, meaning the real mitzvot, the Torah, the chesed. If we knew that that's what we are here for, why? We would question ourselves to get up early in the morning to learn more Torah? Why? It would be hard for you to get up 4 o'clock in the morning? 3 o'clock in the morning? It will be hard to go to sleep 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night? It will be hard? No. Rabotai, it wouldn't be hard. But since we do not have that appreciation, we don't have that, drive, we don't have that importance of showing to Torah, so yeah, good. So if I wake up 8 o'clock, I wake up 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock, let it be 9 o'clock. That's the problem, Rabotai. Look, listen, I want to show you. I want to read for you over here a few chazals today, Be'ezrat Hashem, Just a little bit, Rabbi, it's not a lot, showing you of the importance of learning Torah. I'm telling you, Rabbi, you need to understand when you make this transition, and I say it all the time, like Masech Berachot says, Rabbi, 4 things need constant, what do you call it? Constantly has to always be repeated. Constantly has to be repeated. And one of the Rabotai is the importance of learning Torah. And a lot of us, Rabotai, we forget about this. And when I say learning Torah, meaning toiling in Torah. So I want to read for you over here, Bezrat Hashem B'Leneder, the importance, making Torah in our lives important, because believe it or not, Rabotai, when you make this transition, things around you start changing. Your life becomes better. Your children become different children. Your wife becomes a different wife. Everything is different, Rabotai. When you're living a life of Torah, that's the only way. That's the one way and the only way. You're not one day like this, one day like this, one day like this. It's 100% like this, and that's it. It's like a straight road. I don't know if anybody ever drove straight for 2-3 hours. I had to go away with the kids upstate. Just drive 50 miles straight. Just driving straight. That's how life is going to be, but no turns, no, just straight, Rabotai. Because that's what the Torah does, Rabotai. The Torah straightens our roads in front of us. Makes life easier. But we as people make our lives harder. And that's what we don't realize. People tell me, Rabbi, religion is hard. No, Rabotai, religion is not hard. Religion is beautiful only if you knew the Torah. Because like the saying goes, knowledge is power. People without knowledge don't have that power, Rabotai. That's why it's very important to educate yourself. When you know the halachot, life is completely different. You don't have to be afraid, oh, this is not allowed, this is not allowed, this is not allowed, this is not allowed. Asur. Rabotai, when you start learning halachot, you see how many things are really mutar. And that's the beauty of our Torah. Hashem didn't bring us to this world to make our lives miserable. He brought us to this world in order for us to have a good time, Rabotai. But that good time has to be with mitzvot and Torah, and not with all the shtuyot out there. The problem with us is we're looking on the outside world and we think that's the real enjoyment. But Rabotai, the real enjoyment is over here in the books. And that's the only enjoyment. So I want to just give you a few points over here, highlight some points over here from the Sefer Shimur Alashon by the Rav Chaim of the Schar, Rabotai, just to get an understanding, just to get a small understanding. What does it mean when you learn Torah? What you're accomplishing? Because maybe that's why, Rabotai, like people say, ignorance, right? People when they're ignorant, they don't know, so they're not doing it. All right, so maybe they're going to start understanding the chashivut. Maybe they're going to start doing it. All right, so the Gemara Shmir Alashon begins like this. Amru Rabotenu Zatzal beperek chelik Sanhedrin daf Tzadik Tet Amud Bet Kol haosek b'Torah l'shma misim shalom b'palmalya shel mala u'b'palmalya shel mata. Anybody who toils in Torah for its sake, he makes peace between the upper worlds and the lower worlds. Okay, but he brings a pasukim as to prove. I'm not going to get into it, just not to prolong it. Continues the Gemara says, Rav said, Ki ilu bana partilin shel ma'alu partilin shel mata. Rav goes even a step further. You actually build the upper worlds and you build the lower worlds when you're oisik b'Torah. Continues the Rav Chaim and he brings down more sources. Rabbi Yochanan said, Af magen al kol ha'olam. You even protect the whole world by you oisik b'Torah, by toiling in Torah. This is why I wanted to use the word toiling. Learning Rabotai, listening to Shurim is not toiling. This is what I wanted to make. That is Rabotai. When you're listening to Shurim, that's this for sure. This is not the reward. That's for sure not. That's why a lot of people are not able to feel the difference, because it's not oisik b'Torah. It has to be. You have to be in the, like they say when there's a boxing match, you have to be in the ring to really feel what it means to box with a heavyweight. But if you're just sitting on the bench and just Yeah, the excitement is there, but you really don't know the adrenaline that the guy that's boxing has, unless you're inside the ring. Continues the Gemara, continues Shmir Halash, and he says, Gedolah Torah yoter mikol hakirbanot. The Torah is greater than all the sacrifices. Sheken darshu zichron levracha Rosh Hashanah David Chad Amar Aleph. Im yitchaper avon beit Eli b'zev u'b'mincha. We know that the house of Eli was not going to be able to be atoned for, not with a zevach or a mincha offering. B'zevach u'b'mincha hu de'enu mitkaper. You're right. With the zevach and the mincha, with the mincha offering, he's not going to be able to be atoned for. Aval hu mitkaper b'divrei Torah. But he's able to be atoned for with the words of Torah. Ve'amru b'menachot daf kuf yud. Kol ha'osek b'Torah, anybody who toils in Torah, ki ilu hikriv olah, ki ilu hikriv mincha, ki ilu hikriv chatat, ki ilu hikriv asham, ki ilu hikriv shalamim. Rabotai, in Masech Menachot daf kuf yud, it says anybody who toils in Torah, it's as if he sacrifices to Hashem a burnt offering, a meal offering, a sin offering, a guilty offering, and a peace offering. Now listen what the Zohar Kodesh says. I'm going to read it for you in Hebrew. Kol ha'osek b'Torah, anybody who toils in Torah, ki ilu makriv kol karbanos sheba'olam lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's as if you're sacrificing all the sacrifices in the world before Hashem, may He be blessed. V'lo'od, and not only that, Rabotai, v'lo'od eila sha'Kadosh Baruch Hu mechaper lo akol chata'av. Rabotai, not only do you bring all the sacrifices in the world, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu also atones for all your sins. U'muchanim lo kama kisaod lo olam haba. And they prepare for you many chairs in the next world. Rabotai, do we have any understanding of what does it mean to give chashivut, importance to learning Torah? By me being on my phone and watching things, what am I accomplishing? Zero, zilch, nada, efes, nothing, Rabotai, nothing. But over here, you want to be able to help Klal Yisrael. You want to be able to help the world. Learn Torah. You're able to protect. That's what it says. Oh, you don't believe in Rabotai. They come say that we call for him, Chas v'Shalom. We deny Hashem. That's exactly Rabotai. It's a Gemara, Rabotai. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Av Magin Kol Ha'olam. Rabbi Yochanan held anybody who learns Torah is toils in Torah. He protects the world. We all want insurances, Rabotai. We all want protection. The best protection, Rabotai, is the Torah's protection. And that's why, Rabotai, the Zohar adds something beautiful. Not only that, your sins are being atoned for. Why do people want to go through suffering, in life, Hashem? Why do people bring these things upon themselves? And then they say, oh, Hashem did it. No, Rabotai, Hashem doesn't do these things. Hashem wants to give you guys a good life. He wants to give you barachot. But what can He do if your pipe between you and Him is clogged up? How do you want the blessings to come down? You're going to need a rooter, Rabotai. And that's what Torah allows you, Rabotai. When you learn the Torah the way it's supposed to be, you have the blessings flowing down to you. And what do we do with our own hands? We push away the books and we take the phone. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. And then you realize you have to go shacharit in the morning. I read a very sad story the other day. Very sad story, Rabotai. Religious boy. Whatever it was, Rabotai, for the first time he got a iPhone or an iPad, I don't know, whatever he had. And it was 1 month into, 2 months into, 3 months into it. Almost a year into using the phone. One day was Erev Shabbat, as you guys know. Shabbat comes in early. So he said, listen, I've been doing this, for the past year already. I've been watching here, watching there, watching here. Erev Shabbat is coming in. What's going to be if I'm going to watch for 15 minutes? So he starts watching. So he's watching. And another clip, and another clip, and another movie, and only God knows what he's watching. Oh, he's watching. Rabotai, little did he know that he started watching, let's say, around 3 o'clock, and Shabbat came in, let's say, around, for argument's sake, let's just say 5 o'clock. He got off the phone 7 o'clock. And he felt so bad. It's a story, but I don't know the person. I read it in a book. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the name of the book, but it's a reliable book, reliable author. And he felt so bad that he had to share this with the rabbi. How could it happen to him? He was religious. How did the phone distract him? For 4 hours straight, he completely forgot about Shabbat. No food, no candles, no hot water. He didn't daven mincha, didn't daven ma'ariv, didn't do nothing about that. And that's a good case scenario. But what happens when you have other people that get hooked on it and they watch things that they're not supposed to watch? Meaning they blemish their eyes with immodest things. And the phone is all about immodesty. Remember, technology can be used for good but at the same bad. And what is it used mostly for? So a person can tell me, I learned Torah from there. Good, I'm happy. You learn 1 hour of Torah from there. But how many more averot do you do with that phone? So is it really worth doing mitzvot through averot, Rabotai? Is it worth? First has to take the thing into consideration. So, Rabotai, it's a problem. These things, we give up. We give up these books, Rabotai. We have the Gemaras, we have Rishonim, Achronim, Rashi, Tosfot, Shulchan Aruch. Our Torah is so vast. It's so infinite, it's so beautiful. We give up all these sefarim for this, Rabotai, for this phone. I want to ask you a question. I look at Chacham Avadi. Chacham Avadi, correct? Let me ask you a question. Right? How many of you know Chacham Avadi? Right? A lot of people know Chacham. He was known throughout the world. Even in Slovenia, they said it was easy, 1 million people. Easy. That's without the people that were able to make it. And, I always, when I speak about Gedolim, I say, why, all of you guys are so smart, right? I tell the people, I say, all of you guys are so smart. You don't have time, you don't think it's important, you think it works. So why didn't these Gedolim do it also? Well, they had nothing but, you're smart and they're not chas v'shalom. That's what comes up. Or maybe just the other way around. They're smart and we're stupid for not going in their ways, but allowing these phones to take over our lives. Rabotai, we look at, for example, I have a few pictures in my basement. Rabbi Pinchas Scheinberg, Zatal, Rabbi Birnbaum, the Ben Ish Chai, Chacham Ovadia, Rav Yitzchak Yosef, Rav Chaim Kanievsky, the Stipler, Rabotai, Rav Shach, Rav Arn Kotler. Tell me, these Gedolim, the few of the Gedolim that I just mentioned, tell me, they didn't know of these things? Or they knew of it and they knew how much waste of time these things are, and they applied themselves to Torah. And what came out of them? Gedolim, Geonim. The world remembers them. People learn their books. And what's going to be with us, Rabotai? Who's going to remember you? Yeah, maybe the person who made the app so you can watch all day, maybe he's going to thank you one day because you put a like. Rabotai, we have to be realistic with ourselves. What are we doing? Is this why we came down to this world? For this garbage? Now, I told you before, I didn't say it was easy to break off. It takes time. But have a plan, have a goal. That's what I'm telling you. The way to move, to make that transition. Make a real set of learned Torah. You'll see, Rabotai. This Torah will do that any day, any time. If Rabbi Akiva at the age of 40 saw a rock where there was a hole and he said, if this water can make a hole in this rock, then the Torah, which is fire, can definitely make a hole in a person's heart. And that's why Rabbi Akiva became Rabbi Akiva. But you gotta allow yourself to see that. But if you close your eyes on the reality of what you really have, that's a very big problem. You're not allowing yourself to live life in this world. You're blinding yourself by always being on the phone. Being on the phone. Today, they start having these vision things that you don't even know what's going on around your world. Text messages, Dad, if I'm come on, I don't know, whatever. Let's continue, Rabotai. He continues over here, and he also said, וגם גדולה התורה יותר מהצלות נפשות, כמו שאמרו חכמינו ז"ל במגילה דף ט"ז עמוד ב'. Rabotai, listen to this carefully. If you ask a person, what's more important in saving lives or in learning Torah? What's more important? You have a Lolinu, Chas v'Shalom, you have a house that's Lolinu. You have twin towers, right? Twin towers. Unfortunately, Rabotai. Maybe it's a bad example to use. Alright, let's use the twin towers, Rabotai. With the job that they tried, I don't know, it's a bad example because it's just a sensitive topic. Let's say, Rabotai, Chas v'Shalom Lolinu, a person sees a house on fire. And another guy, he drives by, he sees that house, he stops, comes out of his car, saves the whole family. The whole world praises him. And you have this person sitting and learning Torah, but nobody sees it, Rabotai. In the eyes of Hashem, who's greater? Is the person that just saved 10 lives is greater? Or is the person that's learning Torah is greater? Who's greater? So Rabotai, he says, Rav Chaim brings down the Gemara Masechet Megillah. Let's see it together. I want to read it for you inside. He brings down the Gemara Masechet Megillah Daf Tzayin Amud Bet. And he said like this. Ki Mordechai Yehudi Mishnah Lamelech. Mordechai Yehudi, he was second to king. Second in power to king. Achashverosh. Vegadol Yehudim. And he was great for the Jewish people. V'ratzui l'rov echav. Listen to this carefully, Rabotai. And he was only wanted by the majority of his brothers, meaning the Sanhedrin. There were people that were sitting in the Sanhedrin. Majority of the people were happy with what he did. Comes the Gemara says, l'rov echav v'lo l'chol echav. Majority of his brothers in the Sanhedrin were happy that he was able to save the Jewish people, but not all the people in the Sanhedrin were happy. Why? Melamed comes to teach you, shepirshu memenu miktzat Sanhedrin. Because a few people from the Sanhedrin, they left him. They didn't want nothing to do with Mordechai. Comes Rashi says, shepirshu memenu. Why? Why did they decide to... he just saved their life. Mordechai Tzaddik, he just saved the whole Jewish nation. So why is that something you have to separate yourself from him? So he says over here, Lefi shebata medivri Torah v'nichnas lesarara. Because he nullified himself from learning words of Torah, and he entered into authority. He was second to king, to Achashverosh. Rabotai, listen to this very carefully. He saved the world, he saved the Jewish nation from being destroyed. And so the Gemara tells us what? A few members from Sanhedrin, they left him. Why did they leave him? Because he nullified Torah. Why did it have to be Mordechai Tzaddik? Let it be somebody else. Comes the Gemara says, from here you learn something fascinating. Amar Rav Yosef said, Gadol Talmud Torah yoter mehatzalat nefashot. Great is the one that learns Torah more than the person that saves lives. So our initial question, the person that saved a family, a house was on fire, or a person that's sitting learning Torah, who's greater? In the eyes of Hashem, the guy who's learning Torah is greater. That's what he's telling you over here. Why? Mordechai Tzaddik, in the list of Sanhedrin, he was counted after number 4. He was number 5. After he became king, second to king of Achashverosh, he became number 6. He went down a level. So Rabotai, so from this Gemara you see clearly that what does it mean to go ahead and learn Torah. Now, I just do want to wrap things up. There's a lot more to say, but I don't want to prolong this so sure. I want to show you Rabotai. The Zohar brings down in Parsha Vayeshev, Rabbi Yehuda Patach v'Amar. Rabbi Yehuda, he opened and he said, Torah Hashem Timima Mishivat Nafesh. That the Hashem's Torah is pure. Kama abnei ha'adam la'asok b'Torah. How important it is, Rabotai, for a person to go ahead and try to toil in Torah. Why? Shekol ha'osek b'Torah, anybody who sits and toils in Torah, yuhyu lo chayim be'olam hazeh be'olam haba. He's going to have life in this world, and he's going to have life in the next world. Vezoche b'shnei olamot. He's going to marry two worlds. This world and the next world. Even if you have a person that told in Torah, but he didn't told in Torah lishma, for its sake, the way it's supposed to be done, he'll get the reward in this world, and they're not going to judge him in the next world. Rabotai, in your hands lies, which I would like to call the master key to all your problems. All you gotta do is sit and learn Torah and see what's gonna happen. See the beauty of it, Rabotai. See, just try it. He continues and he says, because when the neshama goes back after 120, when a person dies and the neshama has to go back up to its original place where it came from, he holechet lifnei ota haneshama. Rabotai, the Torah, not your money, Rabotai, not your phones, not your tic-tac and schmeck. Rabotai, the Torah is going to go before you. The Torah is going to go before you. V'kama sha'arim nishbaru b'pnei HaTorah ad shenichnas lemkomo. How many gates are going to be broken because of the Torah that you learned? Before the Torah is going to come, the gates are going to break until it's going to be able to come and it's going to be able to bring you to your resting place. That Torah, Rabotai. And what do we do with our own bare hands? How do you say? You dug your own grave. That's what we're doing, Rabotai. By pushing away the Torah aside and by being busy with everything else that's not important, we're Chas V'Shalom, Rabotai. We're digging low in our own grave. Why do we need this? And then you come rabbi, but bracha. What bracha, Rabotai? Brachas won't help you if you're not doing what's supposed to be done. Vihi nitzevet al adam, Rabotai, the Torah is going to stand on a person. Ad shikatz b'sha'ash yakum mitei ha'olam. Until he's going to get up and all the dead people are going to get up. Vihi melamedet sangori alav. And this Torah is going to be a defense for you. Rabotai, I wanted to show you something. I just want to conclude over here. I just want to read for you over here. I wanted to just continue. Because he has to bring the pasuk. He didn't bring it there, but you have to know that pasuk. Rabotai, the pasuk says like this. B'talchecha tanche otcha. When you walk, it shall lead you. B'shavbecha tishmor alecha. When you lie down, it shall watch over you. V'hakitzota hi tzichecha. And when you awake, it shall talk with you. Rabotai, it's a pasuk. Now, if you look into Masechah Sotah Daf Chav Aleph Amud Aleph, he says over here, what does that mean? B'hitalcha tanche otach. What does that mean? Zeh ha'olam hazeh. Rabotai, this is this world. When a person learns Torah in this world, when you're going to walk in this world, the Torah is going to lead you the proper way. It's going to allow you to make the right decisions. Can you imagine having your husband learn Torah and he knows what's right, he knows what's wrong? Can you imagine your boys coming home to learn Torah from a long day of learning Torah already in yeshiva? They come home, they don't go left, they don't go right, they don't do drugs, they don't do shtuyot. They learn Torah, Rabotai. Do you know the minuchat hanefesh? Do you know the tranquility, if I can say it, the peace of mind that a parent is going to have? What, this is something bad? Or what, do you prefer your child to be on this? And all you do is worry. What's my son watching? What's my daughter watching? And then when they grow up, who they're going to start dating? Is the guy who knows what he's doing? Who knows what he's watching? Who knows what he's doing with my daughter, Chas V'Shalom? Who knows what my boys are doing with these girls? Only worries, Rabotai. Only worries. The one thing that can help us, we're abandoning. And we're sticking to something that can never help us. That's what he says, Rabotai, B'itchalchecha tenchotcha otach. Ze olam hazeh, Rabotai. When a person is going to walk, he's going to lead you. B'shalbecha tishmor lecha. When we said when you lie down, he's going to watch over you. Rabotai, when is this? Zo mitah, when a person dies. When a person is lying in the grave, the Torah watches over you. No, not your phone, Rabotai. The Torah that you learn is going to watch over you. But if you have no Torah, you guys can finish the sentence. V'akitzotah hi tisechecha. We said, and when you're going to awake, it's going to speak with you. La'atid lavo. In the future, Rabotai, when a person will get up, that Torah is going to be your defense attorney, your defense lawyer that's going to protect you, that's going to be there for you. So Rabotai, it's very simple. We opened up this shiur, how does one do a transition. The reason why I went through this whole thing right now was to give people a small glimpse in the schar, in the reward, in what comes to a person, what he's able to acquire with learning Torah, the blessings that come with it, this world, the next world, the peace of mind, the tranquility, the Rabotai, fully loaded Rabotai Torah. Our Torah is a master key to everything in this world. So that's why, yes, Rabotai, when you're going to decide to put a filter on your phone and you want to move forward in life, do it, Rabotai. But transition to the Torah, because the Torah is going to be able to allow you to forget your shtuyot that you've been watching and stick to it, because the Torah is very sweet. There's nothing in the world that comes close to Torah. I forgot which if I'm not mistaken, the Gaon Vilna says, if I'm not mistaken, Rabotai, the Gaon Vilna says, if you put a person into this world, let him live 1,000 years with all the girls in the world, with all the pleasures in the world, with all the money in the world, with all the vacations in the world. 1,000 years. Give him another 1,000 years. And another 1,000 years. 3,000 years, let's say. And you take our Torah and you put it to all those pleasures combined of 3,000 years with all those shtuyot that he did, the Torah will outweigh it 1,000,000 times more. Because that's how beautiful the Torah is. That's how sweet the Torah is. Rabotai, we have something. We have something that was given to us by Hashem himself. Use it, Rabotai. Use it for yourself, for your family, for Am Yisrael, for the world. We need it now more than ever. Learn it, apply it, enjoy it, live it, be it, Rabotai. Allow the Torah to speak to you. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen.